Hey guys, welcome to Memory Lane. This is the channel where we talk about childhood memories and specifically my memories. Now, memories as they were going back into the 60s, early 60s when I was born, and into the 70s, and we touch a little bit of the 80s, but more so the 60s and the 70s. All right? Yeah, so I was born in Jamaica, like I said, back in the early 60s. I have a lot of childhood memories. I never left Jamaica. Well, I should mention that I'm living in North America right now, specifically Canada. But I never came to Canada until around the age of 31. So I have a lot. All my childhood memories, all my childhood memories are back in Jamaica. Right? So this is where I kind of sit and I rehash and I reminisce on the good times and some of the, not so good times and the challenging times and, and what life was like back then. Today I want to talk about a subject. Should I call it a subject or a scenario? Oh, well. So I grew up in this community where in the community we have this institution or this place where men who were doing life sentences would be transferred there. When they reach a certain age, they would be transferred there to complete their sentences. Now, I'm not sure if the same thing, I am not sure if it's the same thing they would call a halfway house in Canada. I don't know. But nevertheless, this was a place that men who were doing life sentences would be sent to finish their time. Now, this was adjacent to my primary school that I attended, from I was a kid up to grade 6. The interesting thing about this is the fact that, and I'm assuming this is a part of the whole, what's the right word? The whole rehabilitation process, right? So these men, they had quite a bit of freedom. They were free to go anywhere in the community. I don't know whether or not they had a curfew, whether or not they had to be back home by a certain time at night. But based on my, observation then, back in that time, when I was there, they were free to go anywhere in the community. And I saw a lot of people develop relationships with them. I saw them being integrated in society quite well. Even myself got to know one very well. I mean, quite close. As a matter of fact, I used to write letters for him. Back in the day when we used to write letters, remember that? Yeah. So I used to write letters for him to his relatives who were living in another part of the island, right? And so, they integrated more or less well into society. Now, for the most part, a lot of them stayed on the premises, at the place where they were commuted to. But there were many, or should I say a few, who you would see, quite frequently around on the street, in their comings and their goings. So I remember this particular one. He had a very interesting nickname. I won't say it because on this channel I try not to call people's names. If you know who I'm talking about, then that's good for you. But for the most part on this channel, most of the people who I may refer to somewhat, they are already dead, right? So just to maintain the integrity of these people, I don't mention names, right? But these are just childhood memories that I'm kind of rehashing, so to speak. and so I try to keep to be as discreet as possible without, you know, digging up dirt on anybody. Yeah, so there was this inmate. He became quite popular in the community. I guess it was because of his nickname. His nickname had the letters BM. It could be one word, it could be just B. Yeah. So he became friends with this girl in the community, right? Developed a relationship with this young lady in the community. You know, it's been a long time ago. I can't say how long the relationship was. I don't know when it started. But, you know, you're living in a little village and you hear all these little rumors that X, Y, and Z are friends, or they're dating, or so-and-so, they with so-and-so. You understand what I'm talking about? Yeah, so he developed this relationship. I think it became an intimate relationship, or it was just, or maybe for the girl or whoever, it was just a relationship of convenience. I don't know. So I remember one morning, I was on my way to school, you know, have my books under my arm. I'm walking to school. I was maybe about a mile, or say a mile and a half away from home at this point, walking on the main road, going to the secondary school which I was attending then. So I was, you know, I was still in my community, but I was heading out of my immediate community, walking to school. And I had to pass this shop at this intersection, right? So there I was walking. I reached up to the shop, and I can't recall if there was some kind of commotion happening in that little intersection, that little square there, or what. But I you know, each time I passed the shop, I would look inside or whatever. At that point in the morning, the shop was not yet opened, but there was this ackee tree against the shop, big ackee tree, and the ackee tree, you know, would bear a lot of fruits. But that morning, I should say, on my way to school, I looked at the ackee tree. What did I saw? I saw, now brace yourself for this. Brace yourself for this. I'm a young teenager walking to school, you know, kind of minding my own business. But you never know when an adventure is going to pop up, or some kind of occurrence is going to happen. Well, that's how life is anyway. I looked at the ackee tree, and would you believe that there was a man hanging from the ackee tree, noose around his neck, and there he was spinning, dead as a doornail. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine the trauma for me as a young boy, you know, witnessing something like that? Yes, there was the man hanging from the ackee tree. I think he was just in his underwear or whatever it was. I can't recall. Dead as a doornail. So here's how this story goes, as I heard it conveyed and spread through, you know, the way it spread throughout the community, is that this girl who I spoke about earlier in the video, for some reason, I don't know what happened, I don't know, but there was some commotion, some, you know, domestic, you know, stuff happens, and this became a domestic violence thing. This became a kind of, it became a murder-suicide. Yeah. He got into something with the girl, or whether I don't know what it was, but he ended up murdering the girl, and I think one of the girl's child. He was not the dad. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you're watching this video and you remember all the, the nuances about it. But I think he also killed one of the girl's child. Yeah, so this inmate who was on, finishing his life sentence at that place in my community, afforded, all kind of freedoms, because of course, we are trying to rehabilitate people. Friended this girl, or the girl friended him, I don't know how it started, but something happened and he snapped and he snuffed out the girl's life, and I think one of the girl's children. Man, that was one of the most traumatic things I can recall witnessing as a child, seeing a man hanging from a tree. I can't, even to this day, I'm closer to 60 now, and I can't, pictures of it still come up. I can't, it's like yesterday. Obviously, this was something really bad. I would not wish this. I would not wish this on anybody. Nobody wants to see them. Nobody wants to see anybody hurt themselves. Nobody wants to see another person snuff out someone's life, But whoa, that was an experience for me as a young kid then, and man, yeah. So I thought I would talk about it today. And what do you think? Do you think, these men, these inmates, should be sent into a community? I think the objective of incarceration in many instances is to rehabilitate people, I think, to make them better citizens, when they get out, to make them integrate better into society, to mold them into better individuals, after serving their whatever sentences they received in prison, so that when they come back out, when they're back into society, they can live a normal life and all of that. I'm not disputing that for 1 minute, but then you have to ask you have to ask yourself, these questions. Like in that scenario, I wonder if these men should have been allowed the kind of freedoms that they had. I wonder. I wonder if they should really be allowed, to move about as freely as they did then. I wondered, if they should be allowed to, to develop. Obviously, you can't, if they were allowed these, freedoms or whatever of movement, then you can't really restrict them from, talking or communicating with people, because we're talking about rehabilitation here. But to develop these kind of intimate relationship with, girls, and to be honest, this girl could be his daughter. This young girl could be his daughter. Anyway, that's just food for thought. What do you think? Have you ever witnessed anything that traumatic? you know, in a lot of countries all over the world, a lot of things happen. You know, have you ever witnessed anything like that? Something that is kind of stamped on your memory and you just can't. I mean, it doesn't affect me, right? But you know, I can still see the individual hanging from the tree. Whoa. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. What do you think about these individuals, these men who are, you know, serving these life sentences? Should there be more restrictions at that time on their movements and all of that? If you like these topics that I talk about on this channel, subscribe to the channel. And if you like this video, just hit the subscribe button, right? Yeah, hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, whatever it is. Because guess what? I have a lot of stuff to talk about. A whole lot of childhood memories to talk about. You know, some good, some not so good. But this is a channel where nothing is watered down. I just give you straight, undiluted, as I can remember it. All right? So until we talk again, take care of yourself. And if you can't be good, be careful. This is Memory Lane.